Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at the Arabic grammar of signs of a noun, how to describe a noun, alamatul ism. So there's a few ways we can recognize a noun. So first of all, it has an alif lam placed at the beginning, e.g. the pen, al-qalamu. So can you see? It has an alif lam. So when a word has an alif lam, we know that it's a noun. Number two, preceded with the harful jar. So, for example, minal madrasati. So, it means from the madrasa. So, if we have words like min, ila, ala, and thumma, and words similar words such as these, we know that these are harful jar, where the words like they used to join words together. Last letter may have tanween. So kitabun, for example, a book. So they'll have tanween, as you can see in this example. Next example can be a musnad ilayhi. For example, Zaydun hadirun. Zayd is present. So it can be a musnad ilayhi. It can also be a mudaf. So kitabu Zaydin, Zayd's book. It can be dual. At-tasniyah, so rajulani, for example. It can also be plural, al-jam'u, what it read, rijalun. So those two men, and it's like two men, and here is more than three men or more. It can be man'ut or mawsuf, like we just covered these examples in the previous video, rajulun swalihun. So this is mawsuf, and this is referring to the mawsuf, and this is the sifat. So rajulun. It can be suffixed with a round ta, so referring to madinatun. Madinatun, it has a round ta. It can be al munada, for example, ya rajulu, or man. So when you call someone, so this would also be referring to a noun. It can be al-musaghar, which refers to a diminutive noun, e.g. rujailun, which refers to a small man. It can also be a related noun, for example, al-ismul mansub. So an ismul mansub, Baghdadiyun. Baghdadiyun refers to being a Baghdadian. Sorry, I can't say the word properly. So now moving on to alamatul fi'l. So the signs of a verb. How do we identify? We've just covered the signs of a noun, and now we're just going on to covering the signs of a verb. So it can be preceded by the word qad. So qad kataba, which means he has surely written. The word is preceded by the letter sin or sofa. So if you have sofa yaktubu, it means he will write afterwards, or he will write later. Sa yaktubu, it means he will soon write. So sisters, do learn the difference when it's sa and sofa. So sa means he will do soon, and sofa means he will do later in the distant future. So that's another way of remembering them. It can be preceded by harful jazim. So for example, lam yaktubu. So lam is the harful jazim. He will not write. It makes the action in the negative tense. It can be an order. So remember, if the signs of a verb, it can be an order like amr, uktub, you write. It can be a nahyu, which is a prohibition, la taktub, which means don't write. It can contain a damirul mustatir, which is a hidden pronoun, e.g. kataba, he wrote. It can be preceded by a harful nasib. It's just a bit squished here, my writing. So the word is nasib. So lan yaktuba, he will never write. So remember, this one is lam. Lan means he will never do. And then there's the other one. Where did it go? I'm trying to find it in the list. I think it was the one before previous one. So yeah, It's not here. I'm thinking of something else. I was thinking of lam yaktuba. So one was he will not write and he will never write. Okay, I don't think I wrote that example down. It can contain the ta'u ta'is. So it's ta'u ta'is, if I've said that right, at the end. So that's katabat, she wrote. Okay, so now moving on to the signs of a particle. Alamatul harf. So alamatul harf is used to join two words together, and there's three categories. There are those that join two nouns together. So you've got Zaidun Fiddari, which means Zaid is in the house. So another word for house, we know it as Baitun. So it's Dari. Okay, next example. Those that join two verbs together. So here we have Uridu an atlu al Quran. I intend to recite the Quran. Those that join a verb and a noun together. So you've got katabat bil qalam. I wrote with a pen. So the types of, so now I'm moving on to the different types of ma'rifah there are. And ma'rifah is the definite noun, which we're looking at. So the 7 different types of ma'rifah. So first one is ad-dama'ir, the personal pronouns. For example, ana, anta, huwa, and here. So it's I, you, he, or she. So these refer to, these are ma'rifah, in a state of ma'rifah when they come in a word. So then you've got the al-alam. Al-alam are the proper nouns. So they're the names of the person, place, or a thing. For example, Zaydun, Makkatun, Zamzam. So it's Zayd, Makkah, and Zamzam. So these are proper nouns. Next example, you've got Ismal Ishara. So Ismal Ishara is the demonstrative noun. So it's pointing out to something or someone. For example, when you use the word haza, zalika, hazihi, and tilka. So this or that. So I've given this and that is the masculine, and hazihi and tilka are the feminine ways of saying this and that, which this is something we've covered before. So just to bear that point in mind. Al ismul mausul. So these are relative pronouns, nouns which is used to connect sentences that follow it. For example, you've got allazi, which is who or which in the masculine version. Allati comes for the feminine words who or which, and you've got allazina, those who, the plural words. So then you've got the al-munada, the vocative ones. For example, ya rajulu, or man. Then you've got al-mu'arraf bi-al. So we've done that. Al-mu'arraf bi-al is just a fancy way of saying the alif lam, which comes at the beginning of a word. So that makes a word ma'rifah. So noun prefixed with alif lam, e.g. al-kitab. And then al-mudwaf ilal ma'rifah. So the common noun which is related to any of the above mentioned definite nouns, except the al-munada, in such a way that the second noun, the ma'rifah, possesses the first an-nakira, e.g. So you've got the kitabuka, your book, kitabu zaydin, Zayd's book, or kitabul lazi, the book of the person who. So then we've got the particles of at-ta'rif and an-nakira. So tanween is generally attached to the end of a word that is an-nakira. For example, rajulun, tufahun, ma'un. So I gave examples of a man, an apple, and water. Sometimes proper nouns also have tanween, so something to look out for, Zaydun and Muhammadun. The letter alif lam is also called harful ta'rif, like we just mentioned it, I think, somewhere, or lamut ta'rif in Arabic. Generally, it's translated as the in English, e.g. al Al-Kitabu, the book. I'll just put the haraka in. Something's missing there. Al-Kitabu, which is the book. Right. When Alif Lam is prefixed to a word with tanween, where a word has two dhammas, it will become one dhamma. So for example, if you start off with rajulun, it becomes a rajulu. So when Alif Lam appears before the ism that commences with al-huruf al-shamsiyya, the letters of the shamsiyya, the Alif Lam is not pronounced, e.g. Ar-Rajulu. So sisters, in the book Ad-Durusul Lugha, we have the list of letters which are given, and these are the ones where the Shamsiyya letters. So these are the letters like Ta, Sa, Dal, Zal, Ra, Za, Sin, Shin, Swad, Dua, Twa, Zwa, Lam, and Nun. So these are the Shamsiyya letters. If you see that, then the Alif Lam is not pronounced and the letter is joined like Al-Rajulu. You don't say Al-Rajulu, you say Al-Rajulu. The Alif is joined onto the Ra, and you have Tashdid, and the sound is incorporated into the Shamsi letter. And the letters of Qamar are Alif, Ba, Ha, Kha, Jim, Ha, Kha, Ain, Ghain, Fa, Qaf, Mim, Waw, Ha, and Ya. So these letters we should be familiar with and we should learn. And just a quick way of remembering the Shamsi letters is that you do it with it's like with the tip of your tongue. This is how all of them are pronounced. So this is a way of remembering it. If any word precedes a word which has Alif Lam, then the first word will join onto the Lam of the second word, and Hamza will not be pronounced. So Babul Baiti. So remember, when there's an Alif in the middle of a word, we don't pronounce it. We pronounce it to the Lam. We join it to the Lam, so it's Babul Baiti. Something that we've been doing over the as we've been going through our lessons. The door of the house. If one word ends in a sukoon and the next word begins with a sukoon, this is called Ijtiba Sakinain. So something new that we've learned here and we need to know. And this is a true sukoon. True sukoons meeting together. So in this case, the first sukoon will change into a kasra. For example, Unsurul Waladi. So you've got Unsur and you've got Al Waladi, and then this will change into Unsiril Walada. Sorry, Unsur Al Walada. That's the first example. Second example, Unsiril Walada. So what happens is the Ra, it was in a state of sukoon, and it becomes in a state of kasra to join. Okay, so the first sukoon will change into a kasra. The Hamzatul Wasl, connecting Hamza before the Lam, will not be pronounced, although it is written. So Unsuril Walada, we don't say Unsuri Al Walada. So it connects to the Lam, Unsiril Walada. So sorry, I've just literally rushed through this because I'm doing the school run and I need to pick up the children. They'll be waiting. So I think I've gone over time. So I will end here and then continue on when I get back to finish I think it's going to be the last and final video before the exams, inshallah. I'm hoping it is. So I'll see you soon in my next video. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.